Welcome, everybody, to Dealing with Yourself, Episode 4. I am your host, Danny Till. That is Danny, silent Hill. And I know, I've been saying how to pronounce my name for the last few episodes, but you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. People have been butchering my name for the last 20-something years. Dude, I don't know about you guys, but all through high school, like when they did the morning announcements, or whenever they announced my name on the thing, they never got my name right. It fucking sucked. I remember like my senior year, it just got to me. In my senior year of high school, it was my last, because my birthday is during the holidays, holiday break. So it's like every year it was happy birthday to the following birthdays, blah 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 blah. And they always went Daniel Phil. I'm like, God damn it! And I thought for sure because like, hey, I've been in this school for 4 fucking years. Like, just get my goddamn name right. But then again, like I realized in high school I didn't do jack shit. How did that sound on your end? I'm sure it sucked a donkey dick. Anyway, we are going to do a very brief episode. It's not, going to be terribly short, but, it definitely won't be, it'll be under an hour, but it'll be over 30 minutes. Let's say 40. How about that? 40 minutes sound good? Let's do that. All right, so episode 4 today, the topic is going to be social media. Something everybody has, with the exception of a handful of celebrities and I think that's it. I mean, aside also hobos, but other than that, like I feel like everybody has some form of it, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. Remember when Pinterest was a thing? Is Pinterest still a thing? Or did Instagram completely murder that fucker? And then you also, of course, have TikTok, which is what I hate because they butcher a bunch of my childhood songs. Like, you remember the Simple Plan song, I'm Just a Kid, I'm just a kid, I know life is a nightmare. I'm just a kid, and I know that it's not fair. That song, alright? Remember that song? It was a Simple Plan song, came out in, I think, 2002, 2003. It was all over MTV. It was a big deal, but then it was in movies like Cheaper by the Dozen, where I, first, I remember seeing that music video on TV, but, like, the Cheaper by the Dozen movies where I first really, really heard that song. Then you had, the movie Grind, and you had a couple other movies with that song in it, but now it's just a thing on TikTok. It's kind of funny because the cast of Cheaper by the Dozen did that. I saw it was okay. It was cool to see that cast together. Well, no, they weren't together, but, it was cool to see them now. Because, again, some of them haven't really been on screen since 2005 when that last movie came out. And then, is there a new form of social media that's out there that I don't know about? Oh yeah, there's Twitch. What is Twitch exactly? I heard it's mainly for gamers, but is it basically you just live stream the whole time? Like, what the fuck does that shit do? Comment below. Explain to me what the hell Twitch is. And I would love to know, when did you guys first get your social media? Like, what was the first thing? Oh, MySpace. Who here had got a MySpace page? I remember wanting to get a MySpace page because I remember in 2005... I first discovered what MySpace was because of Dane Cook, because Dane became really well known in the mid 2000s, specifically around I would say 2005 is when he like boomed. To where he was doing comedy albums and movies and selling out the Garden. And I guess like and from what I understand, like he was the first real comic to what's the word? Market himself through his own handle. He was able to advertise himself, and he benefited from that. I mean, look at the guy now. He just sold out. He did a Radio City Music Hall last year. I've actually talked to him a handful of times. He's a good dude. He's really smart. He has some really. Obviously, I've never met him in person, but I ask him a question occasionally on Instagram, and he gives me some great feedback. I highly doubt that if you're listening to this, but Dane, thank you for saying all those nice things and giving me some good insight. Thank you very much. Love to meet you one day. And then as for me, I got my first social media, which was Facebook. I imagine for a lot of people, Facebook was their first one, if not MySpace. And for me, Facebook, I got it because of some classmates and also because everybody else was on it. And I got it, and of course, I talked about this in the previous episode. My Facebook got copied or hacked or whatever. Not hacked, but like just somebody copied all of my shit and was pretending to be me. And of course, I thought it was weird because I remember one day I was on this crappy Dell desktop. And this is back in the day, where the Dell was if you remember this jingle. Boom, da dong 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 dong. Anybody remember that? Remember on that those desktops they had pinball, all the good games. Actually, they weren't even really in good games. I think it was just pinball and what the fuck was that other one? Well, yeah, you had solitaire, so pinball, solitaire, and Minesweep, something like that. Let me take a swig of water. Oh, just out of curiosity, can you guys hear me chewing my gum? Sorry, I had myself a sandwich earlier, so let me spread out a chew of gum. By the way, if they want to sponsor this video, I highly recommend, in the future, Trident gum. Which gum flavor do I recommend? Trident Polarized Gum. Gives you a cool feeling in your mouth and makes your breath smell wonderful. And of course you hear the plastic that I spit my gum into. And so yeah, I was in 8th grade and I got this random friend request from me, basically. It was me, and my profile pic at the time was the Hangover 2 poster with Mr. Chow on it. And I messaged, who is this? And like, what do you mean? Like, who is this? And like, I'm you. So I thought they were fucking with me, and I knew it was just a fake person, or it was a person. I never knew who it was. A part of me has a few ideas about who did that. But some of them, I still talk to. I don't know if it was them for sure. They don't seem they were cool. Like we're cool now, but junior high kind of sucked. But I feel like junior high sucks for everybody because that's that's where puberty really starts kicking in. And you start developing all these feelings, and then all these hormones are just rushing at you at like 1,000,000 miles an hour. And for me, when that happened, because this was in the summer after 8th grade. This happened for like 3 weeks, right? And this person as me was calling people ugly bitch, the C word, etc., etc., etc. Then like I said in the previous episode, a bunch of them were like, "Fuck you, Danny! Go kill yourself, Danny!" And then I remember like a handful of people like knew that wasn't me, like a buddy of mine, Joey Geedy, who I haven't seen in I would say 7-8 years. He was like, "Hey, we know Danny. This isn't Danny." And it wasn't me, but so obviously some people didn't believe that, but that's fine. And then I got a girl that I was really good friends with, who I liked, and then of course how that goes. You like a girl who's your friend, and they go, no, thank you. But she in summer 2013, so summer after sophomore year of high school, she moves and she created the social media or this Instagram profile for me. I had it for like a week, then I was just like, I'm out. And I remember I got Snapchat. And I was I was on it a little bit, but then this person, I think it was like Lucas Ralph in 24 or something like that. I know it had the name Lucas in it, but they just started sending me all these random weight loss ads. Like every time I got a message, it was them, and it was like a random weight loss ad, like I don't know the exact names, but I'm sure it was on the lines of like drastic weight loss here now for $39.95. And a couple times a day he would send me one of those, and it was never the same one. It was a different one every single time, and it sucked. I deleted my social media or my Snapchat after that. And I got one again, I would say 3 years ago, and I didn't really know how to use it, but I just got it because the filters seemed fun. And I actually had to have somebody at work show me how to work it. It was weird, like to be 20 years old and say, "Hey, can you help me?" It was basically like, "Hey Kayla, how do how do the filters work? How do you like what button do you push? And again, isn't it weird that a 20-year-old dude has to ask somebody how to use a Snapchat filter? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Because like in a way, my brain is kind of like an 80-year-old dude but in a 23-year-old body. Because again, like I think it's just because I have like an old personality, and that I watch a lot of older television. Like I remember like I don't think anybody else my age when they were like 10 were watching Andy Griffith or Happy Days or these older sitcoms from the 50s and 60s and 70s. Did anybody ever watch Leave It to Beaver, or am I the only one? Goddamn, Ward and June Cleaver. And then you had the brother Wally. They all had to deal with the Beaver. Beaver was a little bastard. Him and his mischievous fucking ways. And anyway, so yeah, I got Snapchat again, and it's not terrible. It's all right now. My Instagram, I got a new one because you had that other one for a day or two, and I just deleted it. And then I got one in fall 2016. Yeah, fall 2016, or actually no, August 2016, because I remember my first thing I posted, it's on there. It's my first video I posted on Instagram was, do you remember the Chris Hardwick show at midnight on Comedy Central? It was kind of like a fake game show, but it was super fucking funny because everybody just got points. And I remember because it was like during the Olympics, so they did all these Olympic-esque episodes where you have a bunch of comedians from these different countries. Like you had one from Ireland, you had Flula Borg from Germany, then you had another one from I think Russia maybe. And but basically they were doing some mascot thing, and Flula was all prepare for a terrain bear shit. And then it showed like this IP thing where it's had all these like I think it had like 5 points or whatever it is. It was a star. It was a star, and then Flula hits the button again. And then he goes, "I also double as a tampon." And then everybody, the whole audience is laughing. Then the one girl, she's from Ireland. She's like, "I don't know anybody with that shape." And then Flula's all, "No, you share it with 4 other friends." And I was just like, "Oh, god damn it, Flula! Oh, you sneaky bastard!" And then, when did the Instagram stories happen? Like, because I didn't really do stories on Instagram until I would think, like, 2017, maybe? Did Instagram always have stories, or did that come around in 2017? Because I just remember I didn't really start doing them until 2017. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Whew! God damn. How did that sound on that end? And, Instagram is not terrible. I haven't had a negative experience on it like I did in the past. And a lot of celebrities are getting it now because they have to promote the products. And from what I've seen, like a lot of celebrities, like one of them is Sean Levy. I think like he has his Instagram, which is his own, like his personal one. Then he had his Twitter, which was for his business because he's of course director or producer, and his company is 21 Laps. They produce Stranger Things, and he directs 2 episodes a season. And then he joined Instagram, and he has a public one where it's him just promoting products and shit like that. And then, let's see. Oh, yeah, and then I also joined Twitter because of Chris Hardwick's At Midnight show, because they always did hashtag wars, and usually whoever had the best, like, hashtag clever tweet thing, because, like, they would be the topic. I think one of them was, like, hashtag old bands. So, so I did stuff like the Kidney Stones and shit like that. And, and I use it now because I like to text bits or tweet bits that are just, like, jokes that are on my mind. But, like, for those who want to follow me on Twitter, it's a lot of poop and fart humor that's on my Twitter page. It's only funny probably to me, and that's it. And what's crazy though is Instagram has just changed. Now it's becoming this. How is it that Instagram is becoming a job now? Like specifically for girls. Like I'm sure there are Instagram models that are guys too, but just specifically Instagram models, because again, people just these girls just take photo shoots and they post them on there. And my thing is just like is that it? Like, what else is there besides just you put on an outfit, take a picture, then done? And again, this is coming from a fat guy, so like maybe my opinion's different than if I was skinnier. I don't know. I just find it odd how Instagram modeling is a job, and then then of course like there are people like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He gets paid to promote shit on Instagram, but it's because again it's The Rock. Of course, The Rock would get paid to get promoted on Instagram because The Rock has a large following. People love him in the WWE. He made I don't know, like he kind of made like a rocky transition into the movies a little bit with Mummy Returns. But then again, that was his first movie and the CGI wasn't his fault. Then he had Scorpion King and he had all these movies. But to me, I don't know if anybody else, but like what was the movie that like kind of like made, not necessarily like had this new image of Dwayne Johnson, but rather just like realized like, oh, Dwayne's now a legit movie star. He's no longer The Rock. Of course he's The Rock, but now people don't see Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It is just now Dwayne Johnson. Personally, for me, the one that I felt that like really like switched up his career was Fast Five, because that was a franchise that was, of course, going downhill. Well, not downhill, but it like Fast Five definitely switched up the tone and what they were going for story wise, and that's kind of like where his, I feel, demeanor changed, and then social media was, his following got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now he gets paid millions of dollars to promote shit, which is cool. You could probably use that money for I don't know, house, kids college shit. Oh, so I saw this. I'm on this Wikipedia page right now, and it says as of September 2019, his Instagram account is the 4th most followed in the world. Let me see here. Let me click on this thing where it's the most followed Instagram profiles. Number 1, Instagram. Does Instagram have its own follow? Number 2, Cristiano Ronaldo? Who is that? Let me look him up. Who the hell was that? Shooba-dooba-dooba, dooba-dooba-doo, dooba-dooba-dooba, dooba-dooba-doo. What about you guys out there? Like, what do you have? Like, in regards to social media, what do you have? What is your overall opinions on social media in general? Oh, he's a footballer. Okay, so soccer player. Okay. Number 3, Ariana Grande. Okay. And again, like she's talented, but people think, oh, is it because she done Pete Davidson? Like, I just never found. To me, I thought she was attractive on Victorious, because again, Victorious star when I think it was 13. And then to me, it was like after it was when they're doing that god awful spinoff Sam and Cat. For those who like that show, I'm sorry, but that show is dog shit. But it was like right after that, because it was well known that because there was a pay dispute, because I think Ariana was getting paid more. Sorry, Jeanette McCurdy, but Ariana Grande is a lot more famous than you. Sorry. But yeah, after that, I think that's when her music career really, really, really started. And then I guess understandably, her music's popular. A lot of people find her very hot. Number 4, The Rock. Number 5, Kylie Jenner, of course. Kardashians. Of course, now a bunch of the Kardashians are on here. I'm sorry for those who love the Kardashians. I personally don't. I think they're just a family that got famous because their dad defended his friend who chopped his wife's head off along with another dude. And again, if you have more information of how they got so famous, answer it for me. But back in the day, the only reason why, in my opinion, I think the reason why they got famous is because Robert Kardashian was on the defense team for OJ. And, of course, we all know how that turned out. Number 6, Selena Gomez. All right, Selena Gomez is talented. She's funny. She's got a good sense of humor. Number 7, Kim Kardashian. Ugh. Number 8, Leo Messi. Don't know who that is. Number 9, Beyonce. Beyonce's Beyonce. And again, Beyonce's very talented. She's a solid actress. Like she's not like everybody is just like Beyonce, Beyonce. Like everybody's just obsessed with Beyonce. Like I get it, she's super super talented, but I'm not like Beyonce, I love you forever. But like I'm just like Beyonce has solid music. Number 10, The Biebs, Justin Bieber. How does anybody feel about that? Like, he doesn't have it anymore, but oh my god, that was a horrible, horrible, horrible mustache. It was like as if he shaved his nuts and then put crazy glue on his face and stuck them on there. And again, I don't have great facial hair either. Like, I don't shave for like a week. It looks like my face is just smothered in pubes. It's like as if a sweaty, hairy guy gave me a Nuru massage and just sat on my face for an hour. And then let's see, number 11, National Geographic. You know what? That is nice. National Geographic is educational. The one thing, though, that was funny, though, about National Geographic was, because they post videos of animals in the wild. I sent an old coworker of mine a video of just lions just going at it. Again, the lion was just like, and he was just going bum 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 bum, but again, all you heard was just. Number 10 is ENE10TARENEYMARJR. And 10 Maharaja? Who is this person? Okay, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. But I would not date her because I'm worried about getting a song, specifically a diss track about me. Kendall Jenner, don't care. Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez is gorgeous. She's talented. She's humble. And plus, Danny got feelings for her ever since In Living Color when she was one of them fly girls and really knows how to shake her groove thing. Number 16, Barbie. I don't know if this is a rapper or it's the doll. Number 17, Nike. Of course, Nike's Nike. They have solid shoes. Arguably the best tennis shoes on the planet. And I have a pair of Nike glasses. Sunglasses, that is. They have solid apparel. Number 18, Khloe. I don't like the Kardashians, but I appreciate Khloe's bottom. Sorry, but that chick's got a big old nice badonkadonk that just... number 19, Miley Cyrus. Of course, because she's had a, 15-year career now, really. And then number 20, Katy Perry, because she on firework. 21, Kourtney Kardashian. I don't know who Kourtney is. Like, I'm guessing she's the oldest one. 22, Kevin Hart. My grandmother hates Kevin Hart, and I haven't spoken to my grandmother in years. But yeah, I remember she hates Kevin Hart. I'm like, Kevin Hart is hysterical, and plus when people think, oh, Kevin Hart is so famous, he sells out football stadiums, blah 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 blah, but he's been in the game. He's 40 years old now, I believe. Yeah, I think he's 40, 41. He's been in the stand-up game since 95, 96. And he talks about how, listen, I used to do stand-up at bowling alleys. I did spots for food, etc., etc., etc. There are many times where I was on the verge of getting kicked out of my apartment. He auditioned for SNL, I think, when he was 24 and he didn't get the job. But it said he admitted, my audition was bad. Number 23, Ellen DeGeneres. Of course, she has a very popular talk show. Apparently she's a bitch. I've heard a lot of stories about how she's a big old bitch. Apparently there was this one where I guess people were grilling outside because she shoots them a lot. She's on stage 1, I believe. The people were grilling outside because they have the right to, and because she's vegan, I guess she was. This rumor is that she was saying you can't grill out here, because she's vegan, and I have no problem with vegans, but because of course some people were just like. Yeah, I like animals, and it just feels weird. I'm like, yeah, I understand that. And a part of me is now starting to feel that way, especially after certain documentaries I've watched. Specifically, when anybody was in foods class, did anybody get shown the documentary Food Inc.? Oh, and also, like documentaries like Super Size Me 2 specifically, because it's horrible about how certain shit is. But fooding specifically talks about how how just unsanitary a lot of this shit is, especially on those chicken farms. And then there's this one farm, I forget what it is, I forget the name of it, but it's out in Virginia, I believe, if not West Virginia, and they grab the chicken, they wring its neck, obviously, and then they pluck the fur, they put it through the ringer or whatever it is to completely shed it, all its fur, and then they clean it. They pull it. I think they put it in hot water, and then boom, it's ready. Like, you see it. Even though it's outside, that is arguably the most sanitary butchering I probably have ever seen of a chicken. Number 24, and actually, let's go back. So yeah, so there's vegans that are just like, animals, but then there's those who have armpit shrubs under their arms, or just like, I am pure animal killers. You guys are pieces of shit. You know what? Look at me. I got armpit shrubs. I got a bush the size of Yellowstone National Park. Like hippies. Sorry, but a lot of vegans are hippies. Was that aggressive? Very much so. I'm probably going to get hate for that later on. I don't give a fuck. Number 24 is Real Madrid CF. I don't know. Number 25, FC Barcelona. I'm guessing football club, and I'm guessing club football. And, yeah, so those are the top 25 most popular Instagram accounts. And then the more I'm going forward on Twitter, I don't mind it. I like Twitter, but at the same time, some people just, especially nowadays, it's not necessarily fun anymore. Specifically for comedians. And I'm not talking about because of the Chris D'Elia shit and some other comics like Louis and other shit like that, but I mean just specifically because we are in woke culture right now. It's like woke culture. It kind of sucks because and it's not like, and actually, I should call it. It's not woke culture. Cancel culture. There's a difference between people saying, "Hey, listen, you said some shit back in the past that's kind of fucked up. I'm sure you're a changed person, but it just, obviously it's just, hey, stuff you said back then is kind of fucked up." I mean, Eddie Murphy. I remember when Shane Gillis got fired from Saturday Night Live last year because of stuff he said on a podcast. I'm like, listen, because Sean Wayans said this really well. He said, because he heard about that, and he goes, well, that's not a joke, that's a statement. And then Christian Harloff was saying, yeah, that's right, because Sean was like, I'm looking for the, and then Christian's like, yeah, where's the hook? Because even if it's if it's a bit that you don't agree with, at least it's a joke, you have the setup, you have the punchline, and then boom. But when it's just a full-on statement on a podcast, that's not a joke. And I remember when Shane got fired, and then it was announced that, hey, Eddie Murphy is hosting, people were bringing up Delirious and his stand-up special. So I'm like, he did those when he was 22, and I would say 25, 26 years old. It's been over 30 years. He's admitted, he cringes at the jokes that he said when he was a kid. And understandably, because again, it was the 80s. The 80s was a different time. New York was dirty. Gas was cheap. Cocaine was the bee's knees. I know cocaine's been around forever, but it just seems specifically in the 80s, that's where it was just cocaine is the number one thing to consume. Do you feel as though breakfast is the most important meal of the day? Well, that's not true. Cocaine is the number one meal for you. They should make a jingle about cocaine. What would it be? It would just a lot of people just be like, ah! Or a lot of rock stars just be like, going on stage. We need a little blowy. Let's rock! But yeah, I was saying, it's the 80s, man. The 80s were a different time. Stuff that was funny then is not funny now. His joke about Mr. T being you can't say that today. At least, listen, here's the thing. Is it messed up? You can't say it today? Yes, but at least it was a bit. It was, what Shane Gillis said was not a bit. And then also, and like Bill Burr talked about how like there's this, like he talked about it on Conan, like there's this, it's, you used to have all of these categories, like when you were a stand-up back in like the 70s and 80s and 90s, you had all these topics you could talk about. But now it's like the closet is, or like the wall is just closing in on you, and you're in this little tiny area of what can be funny. Because he was doing a joke on, because he talked about how he got in trouble for making fun of the military, even though the military gave him the okay to tell the joke, because of my, he was telling the joke about how, I guess, I think it was on the lines of how, how the people who fly the jets, and are in action, those are real heroes, but like those who are on the ships, and they do the yoga one pose to tell the jet to go, like, sorry, but it's kind of true. And it was a funny bit, and apparently he got the okay, and he said some dude who had lost both his legs fell out of his chair crying, laughing. Joke goes over good. He got the approval, so he tells it in front of normal people. Then this one fat bastard comes up and he's like, "Hey, show some respect." And then he was saying how I think he said he started the show by saying that women were to blame for sexual harassment, and then the whole Conan audience was just like, and then Bill Burr was just like, "I'm not being serious, you children," because that's right. Like and obviously there's just certain things you can't make fun of, but at the same time people are being very, very sensitive. The skin is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. So now it's to the point where, like, you remember when Chappelle's Sticks and Stones special came out and it got 0% on Rotten Tomatoes for the longest time, and I think now it's at like 50%. But when it was at 0, everybody was just like, "What?" But it's because those critics who reviewed it were very hyper liberal and don't agree with what Dave is saying. But like Dave stated the obvious. Listen, he made jokes about Jussie Smollett, and he made jokes about the Michael Jackson shit, but guess what? He made it funny. Because you can talk about stuff, but you have to do it in a way. Because, like, when you are when you're doing jokes that are really hitting hard, like that are, like, tough shit to crack, these jokes probably take years and years to write, develop, figure out how to set it up, how to nail the punchline, how to say it, how to do this. Because I have a bit talking about Father's Day gifts, but because for me, I was talking about how I think along the line, because I'm still writing it, but it's basically how the gifts affect you. The gifts that you buy your dad affect you later on in the future in certain ways. I'll just leave it at that because I don't want somebody to steal my fucking joke, especially because it's not done yet. But yeah, Bill Burr is right, and especially on social media, Kevin Hart was about to host the Oscars, and then some 4 tweets got him removed from the job. Everybody's like, "You need to apologize." I'm like, he apologized 3 or 4 times already over the last 5 to 6 years, and plus I remember those were jokes in his stand-up special. I think it was "I'm a Grown Little Man." It was one of his first stand-up specials that he ever did. I know that. And my thing was just he doesn't mean them. It's a fucking joke. But I just feel like comedians are necessary. Unless again, I talked about how on my Instagram or on my social media, a lot of my jokes are just dick and fart jokes and shit like that. But when you're having a joke that is tough, not tough, but just it's one that you definitely have to spend time on. Twitter's not a good place to do it because everybody will take it out of hand, take it another way. And then, boom, you're out of a job in less than a week. Sorry, but it's true. Oh, shit. Breaking news. I guess Harvey Weinstein's victims won a huge settlement. Let's see here. But a civil case against Weinstein Company Holdings, and some members of TWC, which is the Weinstein Company, is now in the rearview mirror, as well as an $18.875 million settlement has been reached on behalf of 9 different women who sued Weinstein for sexual harassment. While the nearly $19 million settlement was won on behalf of 9 plaintiffs, if approved by the judge, it will create a victims fund that could potentially be drawn on by other victims of Weinstein in a way that will allow them to make claims without going public. Good. This creepy-looking bastard is gonna. Is he on Rikers? I know he's in jail, but is he on Rikers right now? That motherfucker's gonna die in prison because I don't know what happened in the last 3 years, but and also I don't know what happened in the last 3 years, but I know for sure that Walker is bullshit. That walker is such bullshit. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That walker thing that he was walking around with, I call bullshit on that motherfucker. And again, he, in the last few years, his health has just gone down the shitter, but I know for sure he doesn't need a fucking walker to walk it around. That's just fucking, no, that's bullshit. And, yeah, so I'm glad I'm glad this bastard is getting his, comeuppance. I haven't used that word in a while, comeuppance. It means to get revenge. Wait, did I mean that right? He did. Basically, the girls are the people that he abused are now getting the power back. That's what I mean. Yes. Unless that grammatical sentence where it's Weinstein got his comeuppance. I'm guessing maybe that's right, or he got his karma. Is that better? But anyway, back to social media, especially comedians, how we can't necessarily, unless it's a simple joke where you have a setup, punchline, boom, like you can't really tell it. Because I definitely feel that way. Like I tell some people on Instagram, like through DMs, I tell some people some jokes, and they're like, okay, that's funny. It's fucked up, but it's funny. So, yeah, because that's in a safe space to where I could tell somebody that I know, hey, what do you think of this joke? And then I also talk about how is it going to sound? How is it going to be? How am I going to print? Because it's all about It's all about, yes, writing is one thing, but it's about the delivery. It is about how will you deliver this? And there are some jokes that I've done that worked. Some other ones had a mixed reception. This was a couple years back, and it was after Logan Paul had the Suicide Force incident. So my whole thing was because his brother sucks too. By the way, his brother is a piece of shit also. So here we go. My whole joke was like, what is it like for those parents? Both of their parents. They must be like, God damn, the coat hanger didn't work the first time, and it didn't work the other. It's an abortion joke. It's fucked up. I remember the first time I did it, somebody went, I was like, oh, fuck off. And I was at a comedy club, and everybody was just like, oh, shit. And I remember a buddy of mine, Weeks, just like, I heard him just go, no. Ah, shit, that was funny. But, yeah, so, like I said, comedians, social media, unless it's a simple joke, can't really tell it. And then also going forward, in regards to, because I don't know if anybody else encounters this, but because I put my shit on private. And it's kind of weird though how we're also in the Instagram culture. We all want followers. Followers supposedly is a big deal, and likes are a big deal. Like, you know, I just put mine on private because I know nobody really wants to follow me anyway, and that's fine. But like, I get random requests, and I thought, okay, somebody wants to follow my shit, okay. And then I see like, oh, it's one of those ones where it's like, hi, wanna fuck me? You know, like the bots. Then occasionally I get a weird message from a couple of those bots. It's not fun, but luckily it's on private, so I don't really deal with it all the time. And then, another one. I don't know if this is considered a social media app, but there's this one called Cameo, where I guess it's celebrities. Celebrities pay, or celebrities are getting paid hundreds of dollars to do personal videos or shout outs or messages or whatever. Everybody's joining up. And one of the ones was one of the dudes from Zoe 101 who hasn't done any acting in the last like 12, 13 years, however it was when long it was when the show ended. And it's like, hi guys, I joined Cameo. And I'm like, okay, if people really want to hear from Logan Reyes, there you go. Oh, and then one of the funniest ones was Emily Ratajkowski was on Seth Meyers. And let me just find this to make sure this is right. Let me make sure this is right. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, so this is talking about how, I guess, Emily Ratajkowski, I don't follow her, but I guess she has a lot of followers on Instagram. I get it. Like, in Gone Girl, she had very nice boobies. And of course, and then she was in Entourage. All right. Okay. So here it is. This is talking about her following.
You have many accomplishments. One thing, I don't know if this counts as accomplishment. You have a huge social media following.
I think that, can we?
I do. I think it does. Yeah, I did.
Oh, boom! Yes, thank you. Because sorry, but here's the thing. A college degree, that's an accomplishment. If my graduation goes through, I will have an associate's degree in theater arts film. That's an accomplishment. A law degree, that's an accomplishment. You complete something, that's an accomplishment. But like having 1 million followers on social media, that's not an accomplishment. Like in Emily Ratajkowski's case, like, hey, people just like your boobs and your butt. And I know that she does a lot for like Bernie Sanders, and I believe it's Bernie Sanders that she was doing a lot of campaigning for. Let's see here, I think that's right. Yeah, she campaigned for Bernie Sanders, and I guess she's running. This is like 3 months ago, so I guess she's writing a book of essays. She's starting her own business, and she's writing a book of essays. So Emily Ratajkowski is doing stuff. But again, like I totally forgot she was on iCarly like 7 years ago. Yeah, she was Gibby's girlfriend. She was the dumb girl that was Gibby's girlfriend. I'm not saying she was dumb, but her character was not bright. Then of course, now because of the Kardashians, we now have this this thing where followers and fame is all we really need, and we now in this thing where, especially because I'm going into the entertainment industry. I've wanted to be in that business since I was 4 years old. I talked about it on my Instagram, on my story, because I was watching a Kevin McCarthy interview with the Russo brothers, not the political Kevin McCarthy, the entertainment reporter Kevin McCarthy. I should say that. The reason why I said that is because a lot of people get him mixed up with the other guy. They get Kevin McCarthy TV, which is his social media handle, and he gets mixed with the other one. Oh God! Rule of advice: never eat a sandwich at 4 something because it will belch up your throat later. But yeah, I talked about it on Instagram and how he was interviewing the Russo brothers, and he was saying like, what was the moment you fell in love with film? Mine was the scene the shot from E.T. where it's Elliot and E.T. in the bike in front of the moon. This is not the end where it shows all the kids on the bikes flying in front of the sun, in front of the sunset. It's when that first time the bike flies, and it's the Amblin logo. It is the shot that became the Amblin logo. That is where I remember at 4 years, at like 3.5, 4 years old, I was just like, I know what I want to do. I want to do that. And that's another sign that I wanted to be in the business. Like, I watched the movie Daredevil so much when I was a little kid. There's a scene where he gets up and it's the Seether song, Hang On, where it's like, oh, now I find myself, wish I was someone else. Anyway, it shows him his morning routine. Like, he blasts the music. I'd be like, what? Like something he'd do. Because he's blind, and he keeps all of his money in these VHS cases, these plastic video cases. And I would do that. Like, I would keep my money in video cases, in those plastic video cases, and then like if for some reason I also just like I would do the hand motion because again, it didn't cross my mind. Oh yeah, this guy's blind. Because when I was watching that movie when I was a little kid, I thought, oh cool, he sees differently. No, dude, that motherfucker is blind. But I was just doing everything that he would do, like the way he handled, like the shit he did with his hands, and also like the facial expression that he made. For some reason, I was doing that too. My point is, like, I wanted to be in this business before like fame culture was even a thing. I know that they had the Osbournes, but like Osborne, I never saw the show, but like Ozzy on reality TV sounds great. Anybody watch that show when it was on? How was it? I'm sure it was great. And but for me, yeah, like now people just want followers and likes, and they get free shit, and they haven't done anything. Now, at least, let's say hypothetically, I do. Maybe if I'm on a CW show or something, like you generally, when you're on a show that is that either has a large audience or this is something I've noticed. If you're a star on a series aimed at teenagers or the demographic of the 18 to 25, like your social media following just goes through the fucking roof. Especially like if you work on one of those Berlanti shows like a Riverdale or Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, Supergirl, etc., etc., etc. But You know, and let's say hypothetically, am on one of those shows, and my social following booms up. That's cool, I guess. You know, like the main reason why I would want just either to be verified, to get the blue check mark, or to have 10,000 followers is just so, like, I would just want to be able to repost stuff, and I would want to be able to just insert links in a bio, or like, how on Instagram stories for some people who have the blue check mark on their name or over 10,000 followers, you on their story, you could be posting something and you can say, hey, swipe up to see this. I want to be, just the only reason why I want it is so I can have the inserting a link into a story. That's the only reason why I would just want that shit. But other than that, like, I just want to be in the business just because I know what I want to do with my life. I just want to work in the business and do what I want to do. It's not for fame or fortune. Like, yes, like, if I am working the business constantly, if I'm working regularly and pick the right stuff, that can lead to a long career. And I could then move. I could pick the project. I could invest my money. I can donate some stuff to, like, towards mental health issues, because again, it's stuff that I deal with. I want to help people. Like, I've talked about this. One of the things I want to do, once I have this large following, if I ever get it, is I want to start a center for people who are dealing with mental health issues, and specifically people of all ages. And everybody is different. But I want to, like, something. And then this may sound weird, but, like, let's say if you have, like, a 10-year-old kid who comes into the center and says, "Hey, I'm not feeling like I feel something's wrong." I would want to maybe have he or she talk to a 10 or 11-year-old kid, like someone around their age, and just say, "Hey, I dealt with some of the same stuff too." And it may sound like a weird thing, but just I like the idea. I just think that a decent idea of, hey, have people who are around the same age who are dealing with the same issues talk it together, because one can help the other. One can save the other's life. And I talked about it on my last episode, which is the mental health episode. Some people who are dealing with these illnesses, they just need somebody to talk to, and who better than somebody around their age group? And that's what I would want to do with my mental health center if I ever get it. And where would it be? It would probably be where I would want to end up living, which is Monterey Bay. Like, because I know that once I don't need to live in LA to get work anymore, I'm moving to Monterey Bay. I don't know if I'll live on the beach, but I just know I want to live in Monterey because I'm from the Bay Area. I like the Bay, and Monterey, it just seems cool because it's always, like, I don't think it gets higher than 77 degrees in the summer. A. B. It's fresh air. And it's always cool. You have a reason to wear a jacket. And either, when I move there, I may have the center there, or I may have it in Los Angeles. Just, I know that I want to do some humanitarian work with mental health issues, because that's a big deal. It relates to me. I deal with it. I want to help others who deal with it. I want to use whatever platform I will have to do so. And then, of course, at the same time, still do movies, still do television, direct, write, and do stand-up. I just do all the shit I want to do plus more. You know what I'm saying? And but of course, and then I know the Kardashians. I know that Kim is doing, like, some, like, helping people, or like, work reform programs or whatever it is that she's doing with people who are in jail. But it just, again, like, you guys had the talk show is still going, and thank you very much, Ryan Seacrest, and for that, because he's the co-creator of it and he's the executive producer. And I remember on the screenshot or the thumbnail for the Hollywood Reporter Roundtable, the fuck's the mom's name? Kris Jenner. She was saying about how, what I love about my show is that everybody relates to somebody in my family. I'm like, I'm sorry, but not everybody relates. No, how can somebody relate to your family when maybe the average, like, somebody who is dead broke? How is somebody who's watching the show that's dead broke can relate to a family member who has hundreds of millions of dollars in their bank account? How is that fucking possible? And again, I may sound like an asshole, but just, like, that thing irritated me, because it's like, there's always somebody in my family for somebody that can relate to. Like, no, you can't. You guys are filthy, filthy rich. A lot of us are working class people. Like I come from a family where my mother or not my mother, but me and my sister were raised by a single mom for a lot of the time. And like I said in my other episode, my dad was there, but like he works swing, so my mom was the one that really dealt with everything. And a lot of us are just middle class, working class families. I come from a middle class family. Middle class, working class, et cetera, et cetera. Like, how do we relate to these super hyper rich people? They don't really do anything except you just scream and fight at each other and throw drinks at each other for an hour. Is the show an hour or is it a half an hour? I don't know. I really don't know because I don't watch the show. I just know that when it was on Netflix, I know it's not. I don't think it's anymore, but there was a period like 5 years ago. My sister watched nothing but Keeping Up with the Kardashians on Netflix all the time. And I just would see in the background, I was just like, oh god, this show's fucking terrible. What does it have on IMDb? Let's see, it's got yourself 2.8 out of 10. With 235 episodes, and I remember Patton Oswalt was telling the story because he and Glenn Howerton were promoting AP Bio, which is the NBC series that's now on Peacock. Did I say Siri? Did I say series? You know what I mean. The show. And I guess because Bravo, is it on Bravo or is it on E? Whatever network they were on, they also are owned by. They and NBC are owned by the same company, Universal or Comcast, whatever the fuck it is. But I guess they were asking Glenn Howerton, how do you feel about the 10th anniversary of Keeping Up with the Kardashians or whatever? And I think he said something along the lines of like, I'd rather cut my scrotum off with a paring knife or something like that. And then the reporter was like, okay, you guys are part of the same network or same company, and he's just like, oh god. And then he slowly like saved it, but it's just like, again, like. Even though for some reason these women have hundreds of millions of followers, like we don't, like they don't. A lot. Sorry, but some of them really don't do anything. And I remember, fucking Caitlyn Jenner was on the roast saying my daughter is the youngest billionaire in the world. Like, well, yeah, she may have a clothing line, blah 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 blah, but at the same time, she was probably given she probably had hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank already before she started working on that company. And again, this is coming from a middle class white dude, a chunky fat white guy. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So my point is just social media is a lot of the time is now because of Instagram. People want likes. People want following. People want to just like me. When in reality, nobody really likes you. Everybody is not gonna like you. People are gonna hate you. Some may stan you. Some may, truly do care about you. But no, not everybody's gonna like you. It's just proven fact. And if you can't realize that, just suck it the fuck up. I learned that the hard way in 8th grade with Facebook. I'm rarely ever on Facebook anymore. I'm mainly on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat. And also Stardust. That's another one, Stardust. I actually like Stardust because it's a social media for film fans. You post film reviews and polls and shit like that. So that's a fun one. I don't really have a following on that. I think I got like 3 followers, but it's just, it's a fun thing where I think you post like 15 to 20 second reviews of TV shows or movies or whatever. So, if you feel like, if you're a film lover out there and you thought about like, what's an app that for you, go to Stardust. Follow me on there. I've only got 3 followers. My name on Stardust is, what is it? By the way, like I know I'm still rusty at this because again, this is podcast episode number 4, and I'm just talking to myself. Once I will have guests on through Zoom and we'll have actual conversations, then yeah, it'll be a lot better. But yeah, my following on Stardust is capital D, capital T, H-I, and then lowercase HILL 1996. So in total, D till 1996, capital D, capital T. And so as I'm wrapping this up, like, how do you guys comment below? How do you guys feel about social media? Like, what do you use it for? Because I remember like the whole thing with Facebook was like keep in touch, but like other than that, like what the fuck else is the point of it? And also like, do you really want to are you really a 70-year-old man who wants to see what's up with somebody who went to high school with in like 1961? I don't think so. that's the case, good for you. You know, and I was talking to some buddies of mine, and we were talking about the reunion. I guess at my high school we may get reunions every 5 years. A part of me thinks like, what if there is one? Like, should we go? And then he's like, no. And then part of me is just like, really, just like, yeah. And again, you know, like, let's say hypothetically at the next one, which is the 10 years, so that's 5 years from now. Hopefully, you know, what if my career has started up? I'm doing good things, having success. Yeah, I'll go back. Because my high school experience wasn't great, and that'd be a good, you know, not comeuppance, but it's just like, it would kind of be, even though, I know this is not the same thing, but you remember in that episode of Dexter where he went to his high school reunion, he thought he was just going to fly under the radar, and then all of a sudden everybody's just like, Dexter, 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 and again, obviously not the same thing, because he went there to go kill somebody. But, you know, like, I'm not going to, you know, just be like, hey, it's me, look at me. This is hypothetically if I have success. Like, hey, it's me, it's Danny, look at me now, I'm famous. Or I'm not going to be like that, because that's just, if I ever come across that guy at a reunion, I'm going to punch him in the face. But, you know, it should be cool to be like, hey, you know, it's good to see you guys. It's been a long time. How you guys been? And, you know, it would just be that. But I don't want to be a, you know, super gloaty famous guy where it's like, look at me, look at all my shine, look at all my bling, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, I'm probably not going to wear bling. Like, once I become successful, like, I'm still going to be the same guy. I want to buy more expensive, funny T-shirts. Because, the more creative T-shirts are the ones that cost more. So, a lot of, you know, cartoon shirts, a lot of bands, stuff like that. They're expensive. Don't believe it or not. And for the really, really clever and creative ones, so they're going to be at least 25 to 30. And, you know, and then also I would want to be able to, you know, buy as many Converse Chuck Taylors as I want. I'm not going to buy, you know, 50 pairs. I'm not going to spend $3,000 on shoes. That's like what, 60 pairs of sneakers, between 40 to maybe 30 between 20 to 80 pairs of sneakers depending on pricing. But yeah, I would just want to be able to just, you know, buy a handful of some sneakers if I wanted to, just little things. I would never want to just become, you know, have this massive following, become famous, become rich, and just buy a fucking boat. I'm not going to buy a boat. Sorry, but only real douchebags buy boats. I remember when Workaholics was having that controversial Coast Guard episode, and then they got hate from the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard was like, I hope your boat doesn't run out of gas a mile offshore. And then Adam Devine was just like, we don't own boats. We're basic cable television. I can, buy a lawnmower, you know? So, you know, so my point is, whenever it does happen, I become famous or well-known, whatever. I don't like to say famous. Just doing what I want to be doing. Would a following maybe come from that? I don't know. Depends on what property I'm on, or what show or movie I'm doing. If I'm in one of those Marvel movies, oh yeah, it'll go up. But I would never want to do it. Just be like, hi, look at me. It would just be, you know, a lot of videos of me just, you know, playing video games, watching TV, attempting to light a fart on fire, and you know, and one thing for sure though, if I ever do become rich, I'm gonna get a fucking half pipe and put it in my backyard because I'm a skater kid. I'm from the Bay, and I would definitely just be on a half pipe all day if I could. So yeah, that's kind of just my idea of what my fame would look like. And you know, is it a little bit weird and childish? Yeah, but at the same time, you know, it's me. I'm 23. I may have an 80-year-old. I may have the brain of an 80-year-old, but I have the personality of a 12-year-old boy. Another analogy I thought of was 9.5 years ago, I turned 14 and I haven't aged since. In regards to just how I personally, how I am. And personality-wise, etc., etc. I'm still the 14-year-old boy from 9.5, almost 10 years ago. All right, guys, that was episode 4 of Dealing with Yourself, the social media episode. And again, I talked about when I said on my Instagram and social media when I was going to do this, I'll have guests. I just got to figure out how to get the Zoom shit set up. I did it for class, but I just got to get all this shit set up now. And then I will probably have, you know, my goal is to at least have episodes be an hour long or at least 45 minutes to an hour. And then maybe if I have guests on, we'll maybe go a little bit longer. But I mainly just want to do this just to get started. So maybe after the first 10, then I'll start doing interviews again. Not again, but just get started doing interviews. So yeah, this is it for Dealing with Yourself, episode 4. Comment below what you thought. What do you think? Give me your opinions. Like, subscribe, comment below. And thank you guys. This was Dealing With Yourself, episode 4. Goodbye.